Hello students, the topic for today is the force experienced by a moving charge in a magnetic field. If we have a charged particle Q and it is moving in a magnetic field with velocity V, let us draw the magnetic field here, the direction of the magnetic field. Let us take it like this. The angle between V and V, let it be theta. When this is the case, then this charged particle experiences a force. The force is given by Q V cross B. This expression was derived by Lorentz and therefore this is called as magnetic Lorentz force. We can write this expression as Q VB sine theta or QB V sine theta. This means that F depends upon, F is proportional to the magnitude of the charge. The magnitude of F also depends upon the magnitude of the magnetic field and it also depends upon V sine theta, the component of velocity along the magnetic field. Let me find the component of velocity along the magnetic field. So the force depends upon the component of the velocity along the magnetic field. So F depends upon these three factors. Now, if the charged particle is at rest, it is not moving, in that case, force will be 0. So if there is a stationary particle in a magnetic field, it does not experience any force. If theta, if the angle between velocity and B, it is 0 degrees or 180 degrees, that is, the particle is moving parallel to the magnetic field or anti-parallel to the magnetic field. In that case, force will be equal to again 0. So if a charged particle is moving parallel or anti-parallel to the magnetic field, it will not experience any force. Another case, if the angle between velocity vector and B is 90 degrees, that is, the particle is moving in a direction perpendicular to the magnetic field. In this case, the force will be QVB, that is, in this case, the force will be maximum. In this case, the force will be perpendicular to V as well as the force will be perpendicular to the magnetic field. The three vectors Q, V, B will be perpendicular. And the direction of the force in this case is given by a rule called as Fleming's left hand rule. In this case, when the velocity vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the direction of the force is given by Fleming's left hand rule. The three fingers, the central finger, the index finger and the thumb, they are held perpendicular to each other. If the central finger points in the direction of the current, The index finger, that is the forefinger, points in the direction of the magnetic field. Then the thumb of the left hand gives the direction of the force experienced by the charged particle. The central finger is pointing in the direction of the current, the forefinger in the direction of the magnetic field, then the thumb points in the direction of the force. So this is a very convenient rule which we can use to find the direction of the force experienced by the charged particle moving perpendicular to a magnetic field. In case we have both the fields, right now we found the force experienced by a moving charge in a magnetic field, and suppose we have a combined magnetic field and electric field. Both the fields are there. In that case, the force experienced by the charged particle will be QE due to the electric field. Due to the magnetic field, the force experienced will be Q V cross B. So the net force experienced will be QE plus Q V cross B. That is Q E plus V cross B. This is the total force experienced by the charged particle in a combined magnetic and electric field. This force is called as Lorentz force. Now let us see the motion of the particle in a magnetic field. Motion of a charged particle, of a moving charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. There are three cases here. Let us see the first case. Say the particle is moving parallel to the magnetic field. When the particle moves parallel to the magnetic field, in this case theta equals to 0, and we've already seen the force will be 0. So the particle experiences no force when it moves parallel to the magnetic field. Another case, if the charged particle now moves in a direction perpendicular to the magnetic field, in this case theta is 90, and the force will be QVB sin 90 or QVB. This is the force. What is the direction of the force? We have just seen by Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of the force is perpendicular to V, and force is also perpendicular to B. If F and V are perpendicular, this means acceleration and V are perpendicular. This means the particle will start moving in a circular path. In a circular motion, the acceleration and velocity vectors, they are perpendicular to each other. So in this case, this force will provide the centripetal force to the charged particle. So when the force is QVB, this provides the centripetal force. The magnetic Lorentz force is providing the centripetal force, equating, we get the centripetal force equals to QVB. Let us cancel one V. So R equals to mv upon qb. The time period of the movement, the time period of the revolution can be given by the circumference upon the velocity. Substituting for r, we get mv by qb the time period of revolution is 2 pi m by qb. We can see here the time period, it is independent of velocity of the particle and radius of the particle. Similarly, we can also find the frequency. The frequency is given by reciprocal of the time period. So it will be, this frequency is also called as cyclotron frequency. The particle, in this case, when the angle between the velocity vector and magnetic field is 90 degrees, then the particle moves along a circular path, and the period of revolution is given by 2 pi m by qb. The frequency of revolution is given by qb by 2 pi m. In both cases, the time period and frequency, they are independent of the velocity and the radius. In the next class, we will discuss about when the particle moves, the charged particle moves in any direction to the magnetic field. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Goodbye.